The day their parents passed away, Anna and Beatrice stood side by side, staring at the large mahogany door of the family estate. It loomed over them, a symbol of all their parents had built. A business empire that spanned decades, born out of sweat and sacrifice. Anna, the elder sister, clenched her fists, her jaw set in determination. She knew what had to be done. Hello. Welcome. Enjoy, subscribe, and activate notifications. This is our legacy, Anna said, her voice firm, but with a hint of vulnerability that only her sister could detect. We owe it to them to keep everything going. Beatrice nodded, but her heart wasn't in it. She had always admired Anna's strength and determination, but she yearned for something different, a life that allowed for moments of peace, joy, and simplicity. While Anna had spent her youth preparing to take the reins of the family business, Beatrice had always found solace in nature, art, and the simple pleasures of life. I understand, Anna, Beatrice replied softly, her gaze dropping to the polished floor. But I don't think I'm the right person to carry this burden. I want something different. Anna's eyes flashed with frustration. Different? This isn't just about what we want. It's about responsibility. Mom and Dad worked their entire lives to build this. We can't just turn our backs on it. Beatrice looked at her sister, seeing the weight of expectation bearing down on her. Anna had always been the stronger one, the one who excelled in school, who thrived under pressure. But now, as Anna took charge, Beatrice felt herself pulling away, resisting the life of endless meetings, profit margins, and corporate strategies. Anna, I'm not saying I don't care, Beatrice began, choosing her words carefully. I just believe there has to be more to life than this. I don't want to spend my entire life in an office, stressed and exhausted. I want to live to find balance. Anna shook her head, her expression hardening. That's a luxury we can't afford, If you don't help me, it all falls on me. I can't do this alone. For the first time, a chasm opened between the two sisters. Anna felt the sting of Beatrice's reluctance, while Beatrice felt the suffocating pressure of her sister's expectations. They had always been close, but now, the very legacy that was supposed to bind them was beginning to tear them apart. In the following weeks, Anna threw herself into the family business with an intensity that bordered on obsession. She was determined to prove that she could handle it all, that she could honor their parents' memory by keeping the company thriving. Meanwhile, Beatrice distanced herself, spending more time at the family's countryside villa, painting, reading, and finding solace in the quiet moments Anna no longer had time for. The tension between them grew as Anna became increasingly consumed by work, her health beginning to suffer under the relentless strain. Yet, she refused to slow down, convinced that she could carry the weight alone. Beatrice, on the other hand, watched from afar, torn between her love for her sister and her need to follow her own path. Neither of them realized that this growing divide was leading them toward a crisis that would force them to confront their deepest fears and desires. As months passed, Anna's dedication to the family business intensified, but it came at a cost. The once vibrant woman was now a shadow of her former self. Her days were spent in endless meetings, poring over financial reports, and negotiating deals. The weight of the company's future pressed heavily on her shoulders, and the burden was taking its toll. Beatrice noticed the changes every time she visited the city. Anna's eyes, once full of life, were now dull and tired. She had lost weight, her once rosy complexion had faded, and dark circles underlined her eyes. Anna brushed off Beatrice's concerns, insisting she was fine, but it was clear that the relentless pace was breaking her down. You need to take a break, Anna, Beatrice urged during one of her visits. They were sitting in Anna's grand office, the windows offering a panoramic view of the bustling city below. You can't keep going like this. Anna barely looked up from her computer, her fingers flying over the keyboard. I'm fine, just a bit tired. There's too much to do. If I stop now, everything could fall apart. Beatrice sighed, frustration bubbling to the surface. Anna, look at yourself. You're running yourself into the ground. This isn't what Mom and Dad would have wanted. They cared about the business, yes, but they cared about us too. Anna finally paused, leaning back in her chair. She closed her eyes, rubbing her temples as if trying to ward off a headache. I can't stop, B. I just can't. If I don't keep pushing, what was all their sacrifice for? What was all this for? It wasn't just about the business, Beatrice replied softly, moving closer. It was about us having a good life, being happy. You're not happy, Anna. You're exhausted. Anna's eyes opened, and for a moment, Beatrice saw a flicker of vulnerability, a crack in her sister's armor. But just as quickly, it vanished, replaced by the steely resolve that had driven Anna all her life. I'll rest when things are stable, Anna said, her voice firm but lacking conviction. The company needs me now. Beatrice bit her lip, fighting the urge to argue further. She knew that pushing Anna wouldn't work. Her sister was as stubborn as she was dedicated. Instead, Beatrice decided to focus on what she could control, her own life. She returned to the countryside, where the air was clean and the days were slower. She spent her time painting, hosting small gatherings with friends, and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. Yet, every time she thought of Anna, a pang of guilt and worry tugged at her heart. She knew Anna was struggling, but she felt powerless to help her. Back in the city, Anna's health continued to decline. She began to suffer from chronic migraines, her blood pressure soared, and sleep became elusive. She kept these ailments to herself, unwilling to show any sign of weakness. To her employees and business partners, she was the epitome of strength and leadership, but inside, she was crumbling. One evening, after an especially grueling day, Anna collapsed in her office. The world spun around her, and for a terrifying moment, she couldn't breathe. Her chest tightened, and her vision blurred. Panic set in as she realized something was very wrong. With a trembling hand, she managed to press the intercom, summoning her assistant. The next thing Anna knew, she was in the hospital, lying in a stark white bed with machines beeping softly around her. The doctor's grave expression was the first thing she saw when she opened her eyes. Anna, you've had a severe panic attack, the doctor said, his tone firm but gentle. Your body is under immense stress. If you don't make some serious changes, this will only get worse. Anna stared at the ceiling, numbness spreading through her. She had always prided herself on her resilience, her ability to handle anything that came her way. But now she felt weak, fragile. The doctor's words echoed in her mind, but all she could think about was the work piling up in her absence. You need to take time off, the doctor continued. A real break, Anna. No work, no stress. Your life depends on it. As Anna lay there, the reality of her situation began to sink in. She had pushed herself too far, and now she was paying the price. But how could she stop? How could she let go when so much depended on her? Meanwhile, Beatrice received the news with a sense of dread. She rushed to the city, her heart heavy with fear and guilt. As she walked into the hospital room, she saw Anna, her strong, unbreakable sister, looking small and vulnerable in the bed. Anna, Beatrice whispered, tears welling up in her eyes as she sat beside her sister. Why didn't you tell me it was this bad? Anna turned to her, a weak smile on her lips. I didn't want to worry you, Bea. I thought I could handle it. Beatrice took Anna's hand, holding it tightly. You don't have to handle everything alone, Anna. We're in this together, remember? Please, let me help you. Anna squeezed Beatrice's hand, the weight of her decisions pressing down on her. For the first time, she considered what Beatrice had been trying to tell her all along. That maybe, just maybe, there was more to life than the relentless pursuit of success. Anna was discharged from the hospital with strict orders to rest and reduce stress. The doctor's warning echoed in her mind. Asterisk, your life depends on it. Asterisk, as she returned to her apartment. The familiar sight of work documents piled on her desk filled her with unease. Her phone buzzed constantly with messages and emails, each one reminding her of the responsibilities she was neglecting. But now, she couldn't ignore the toll it had taken on her. Beatrice stayed with Anna for the first few days, ensuring her sister followed the doctor's orders. She cooked meals, handled phone calls, and kept Anna company during the long, quiet hours. At first, Anna resisted, trying to sneak in a few emails or make a quick call. But every time, Beatrice would gently take the phone from her hand, reminding her of what was at stake. One evening, as they sat together on the balcony, watching the sun dip below the skyline, Anna finally opened up. "I don't know how to do this, B," Anna admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I've spent my whole life working, pushing myself to be the best, to keep everything together. If I stop now, I feel like I'm failing them." Beatrice placed a comforting hand on Anna's arm. "You're not failing anyone, Anna. You've done more than enough. But now it's time to take care of yourself. You're just as important as the business. More important." Anna looked at her sister, seeing the sincerity in her eyes. For so long, she had been driven by a sense of duty, of carrying on their parents' legacy. But she realized now that she had lost sight of what truly mattered: her own well-being and the bond she shared with Beatrice. "I've been so focused on keeping everything going that I forgot how to live," Anna said, her voice trembling. "I thought if I just worked harder, everything would be okay. But I've lost so much along the way, including you." Beatrice shook her head, her eyes filling with tears. "You haven't lost me, Anna. I've always been here. I just wish you could have seen that sooner." The sisters sat in silence for a while, the weight of their shared past hanging between them. Anna thought about all the times she had pushed Beatrice away, insisting that work came first. She realized now how unfair she had been, not just to Beatrice, but to herself. "I've been so blind," Anna confessed, her voice barely audible. "I've been chasing after something that doesn't even matter in the end." "You were right, B. Life isn't just about work. It's about finding balance, enjoying the moments we have." Beatrice smiled, squeezing her sister's hand. "It's not too late to change, Anna. You can still find that balance. But you don't have to do it alone. We can figure it out together." In the days that followed, Beatrice helped Anna make small changes to her routine. They began with daily walks in the nearby park, where Anna could breathe in the fresh air and let go of the tension that had gripped her for so long. They spent time cooking together, trying out new recipes and enjoying the simple pleasure of sharing a meal. Anna started meditating, something Beatrice had been doing for years. At first, it was difficult. Her mind kept wandering back to work, to all the things she felt she should be doing. But with Beatrice's guidance, she slowly learned to quiet her thoughts and find peace in the present moment. As Anna began to heal, she and Beatrice grew closer, rediscovering the bond they had once shared. They talked about their childhood, reminiscing about the times they spent together before the pressures of adulthood had driven them apart. Anna opened up about the immense pressure she had felt to live up to their parents' expectations, and Beatrice shared her own struggles with feeling inadequate compared to her high-achieving sister. One evening, as they sat by the fire in Anna's apartment, Beatrice broached a topic they had both been avoiding. "Anna, I think it's time we talk about the future," Beatrice said gently. "What do you really want? Not just for the business, but for yourself?" Anna stared into the flames, the flickering light reflecting her inner turmoil. "I don't know, B. I've always seen myself as the one who has to keep everything going. But now, I'm not sure I want that anymore. I want to really live. But I don't know how to let go." Beatrice nodded, understanding the depth of her sister's struggle. "Letting go doesn't mean abandoning everything, Anna. It just means finding a way to live that doesn't consume you. Maybe it's time to delegate more, to trust others to help carry the load." Anna sighed, the idea both frightening and liberating. "I've always felt like I had to do it all myself, like no one else could do it as well as I could. But you're right. I can't keep going like this." The next day, Anna made a difficult decision. She called a meeting with the company's board of directors and announced her intention to step back from day-to-day operations. She would still be involved, but in a more strategic role, allowing others to manage the daily responsibilities. It was a tough pill to swallow, but as she spoke, Anna felt a weight lifting from her shoulders. The board members were surprised but supportive, acknowledging the immense effort Anna had put into the company and agreeing to take on more responsibilities. For the first time in years, Anna felt a sense of relief, knowing she had made the right decision. As the meeting concluded, Anna returned home to find Beatriz waiting with a smile. "How did it go?" Anna smiled back, a genuine smile that hadn't graced her face in a long time. "Better than I expected. I'm not sure what comes next, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe." Beatriz embraced her sister, feeling a deep sense of pride and relief. "We'll figure it out together, Anna. Whatever comes next, we'll face it side by side." And for the first time, Anna truly believed that they would. With her responsibilities at the company significantly reduced, Anna found herself in uncharted territory. For years, her life had revolved around the business, leaving little room for anything else. Now, with her schedule cleared, she faced the daunting task of figuring out what to do with her time. The first few days were the hardest. Anna struggled to relax, her mind constantly drifting back to work. She found herself checking her email out of habit, only to remember that she had promised Beatriz and herself to step back. It was a challenge to break free from the routine she had lived for so long. Beatriz, sensing her sister's unease, encouraged Anna to explore new hobbies and rediscover old passions. They began with simple activities, long walks in the park, afternoons spent reading, and trying out different forms of exercise. Beatriz also introduced Anna to yoga, something she had practiced for years. At first, Anna was skeptical, but the slow, deliberate movements and the focus on breathing helped her find a sense of calm she hadn't felt in a long time. "Anna, you were always an artist at heart," Beatriz reminded her one day as they strolled through a local art gallery. "You used to love painting. Maybe it's time to pick up a brush again." Anna hesitated, memories of her younger self painting for hours on end coming back to her. She had abandoned art when she started taking on more responsibilities at the company, dismissing it as a frivolous hobby. But now, with Beatriz's encouragement, she decided to give it another try. She bought a set of paints and canvases, setting up a small studio in the corner of her living room. At first, it felt strange, almost uncomfortable to sit down and paint. Her brushstrokes were hesitant, her colors uncertain. But as the days passed, Anna began to lose herself in the process, finding a sense of joy and fulfillment that had been missing from her life for so long. Meanwhile, Beatriz continued to live her life with the balance she had always sought. She invited Anna to join her on weekend trips to the countryside, where they would hike, visit local markets, and simply enjoy each other's company. These trips became a regular part of their routine, and Anna found herself looking forward to them, appreciating the quiet moments and the chance to reconnect with nature. One weekend, they visited a small coastal town a few hours' drive from the city. It was a picturesque place, with white sandy beaches, charming cottages, and a lively harbor filled with fishing boats. As they strolled along the shoreline, Anna felt a sense of peace that she hadn't experienced in years. "This place is beautiful," Anna said, taking in the view of the ocean. "I could stay here forever." Beatriz smiled, pleased to see her sister so relaxed. "We can come back anytime you want, Anna. There's no rush to get back to the city." Anna nodded, feeling the weight of the world lift off her shoulders. For the first time, she allowed herself to dream of a future that wasn't dominated by work. She imagined herself living a simpler life, one filled with art, nature, and the company of those she loved. As they continued their walk, they came across a small art shop. The window display caught Anna's eye, beautiful paintings of the sea, the town, and the surrounding countryside. The style was bold and expressive, and Anna felt a spark of inspiration. "Let's go in," she suggested, and Beatriz readily agreed. Inside, the shop was cozy, filled with the smell of freshly cut wood and the sight of vibrant colors. The walls were lined with paintings, sketches, and photographs, all capturing the essence of the coastal town. Anna's eyes were drawn to a particular painting of a stormy sea, the waves crashing against the rocks with wild energy. It was raw and powerful, and it spoke to her in a way she hadn't expected. As she stood there, lost in the painting, the shop owner approached them. He was an older man with kind eyes and a warm smile. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said, nodding toward the painting. "Yes," Anna replied, still mesmerized by the artwork. It's incredible. Did you paint it? The man chuckled. No, that's the work of a local artist. She's quite talented, isn't she? Her name's Isabel. She captures the spirit of this place better than anyone I know. Anna found herself intrigued. Is she around? I'd love to meet her. She usually stops by in the afternoons, the man said. If you're still in town later, you might run into her. They thanked the shop owner and continued exploring the town, but Anna couldn't stop thinking about the painting. There was something about it that resonated with her deeply, something that reminded her of the passion she had once had for art. Later that afternoon, as they were having coffee at a seaside cafe, Anna spotted a woman walking toward the art shop, carrying a large canvas under her arm. There was a confidence in her stride, a creative energy that Anna instantly recognized. That must be Isabel, Beatrice said, noticing Anna's interest. I think you're right, Anna replied, her heart quickening with excitement. Let's go talk to her. They walked back to the shop, where Isabel was now setting up her latest painting for display. Up close, she was a striking woman, with sun-kissed skin and hair that cascaded in waves around her shoulders. Her hands were stained with paint, and her eyes sparkled with the kind of joy that only comes from doing what one loves. Hello, Anna said, approaching Isabel with a friendly smile. I saw your painting in the window earlier. It's incredible. Isabel looked up, returning the smile. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. The sea is my greatest inspiration. I can see that, Anna replied. I used to paint too a long time ago. Seeing your work has inspired me to start again. Isabel's smile widened. That's wonderful to hear. Art has a way of calling us back, doesn't it? Anna nodded, feeling a connection with Isabel that went beyond words. They spent the next hour talking about art, life, and the importance of finding one's passion. Isabel shared her own story of how she had left a corporate job in the city to pursue her dream of being an artist full-time. It had been a difficult decision, but one she had never regretted. As they parted ways, Isabel extended an invitation. If you ever want to paint together or just talk about art, I'm here. We artists have to stick together. Anna accepted the offer with gratitude, feeling a sense of excitement she hadn't felt in years. The encounter with Isabel marked a turning point for Anna. She realized that she didn't have to give up everything she had worked for, but she could find a way to incorporate her passions into her life. Back in the city, Anna threw herself into painting with a renewed vigor. Her work became more expressive, more honest, reflecting the emotional journey she had been on. The canvas became her outlet, a way to process everything she had been through. Beatrice noticed the change in Anna and couldn't have been happier. Her sister was finally finding the balance she had always wanted for her. The tension that had once existed between them was fading, replaced by a deeper understanding and mutual respect. As the days turned into weeks, Anna's health continued to improve. She was sleeping better, eating well, and most importantly, she was happy. The time she spent painting, exploring the countryside with Beatrice, and simply enjoying life had given her a new perspective. But as Anna settled into this new rhythm, a lingering question remained in her mind. What did the future hold for her and the company? She knew she couldn't completely walk away, but she also didn't want to return to the life that had nearly destroyed her. One evening, as they sat together in the living room, Beatrice brought up the topic. Anna, you've come so far. Beatrice began, her tone gentle. But have you thought about what you really want to do with the business? Anna sighed, the question weighing heavily on her. I have, I've been thinking about it a lot. I don't want to go back to the way things were, but I also don't want to let everything fall apart. The company is important not just to me, but to all the people who work there. Beatrice nodded, understanding the dilemma. You don't have to choose between the company and your happiness, Anna. There's a way to make both work. Anna looked at her sister, seeing the wisdom in her words. What do you suggest? Maybe it's time to bring in someone who can help, Beatrice said. Someone you trust to manage the day-to-day operations, while you focus on the bigger picture and, more importantly, on living your life. Anna considered the idea, realizing that it made sense. She had always felt that she had to carry the burden alone, But now she saw that there were other options. She could delegate, share the responsibilities, and still be a part of the company without sacrificing her health or happiness. The next day, Anna met with the board again, this time with a new proposal. She suggested hiring a new CEO to take over the daily management of the company, while she stepped into a more advisory role, focusing on long-term strategy and vision. The board was receptive to the idea, recognizing that Anna's well-being was crucial to the company's success. With the decision made, Anna felt a sense of relief wash over her. She was no longer trapped in the cycle of endless work and stress. She had found a way to honor her parents' legacy while also carving out a life for herself. A life that was balanced, fulfilling, and true to who she was. As she and Beatrice celebrated the decision over dinner that night, Anna raised her glass in a toast. To new beginnings, and to finding our own paths. Beatrice clinked her glass against Anna's, smiling. To living life on our own terms, and never forgetting what's truly important. For the first time in a long time, Anna felt at peace. She had learned that life wasn't about sacrificing everything for success. It was about finding a way to balance the things that mattered most. And as she looked at her sister, she knew that they would continue to support each other, no matter what the future held. The transition period at the company was smoother than Anna had anticipated. The new CEO, David Ortega, was a seasoned professional with a reputation for strong leadership and innovative thinking. Anna had known David for years, having worked with him on several projects, and trusted his ability to steer the company in the right direction. His appointment was met with approval from the board, employees, and clients alike. David's first act as CEO was to streamline the company's operations, introducing new strategies to increase efficiency and reduce unnecessary stress on the staff. He also prioritized employee well-being, something Anna had neglected in her pursuit of excellence. His approach resonated with the team, and morale began to improve. Under his guidance, the company not only stabilized but started to grow in new and exciting ways. Anna, now in her advisory role, attended key meetings and contributed to long-term planning, but she no longer felt the crushing pressure of managing every detail. She found that stepping back allowed her to see the bigger picture more clearly, and her input became even more valuable. The weight of responsibility was no longer solely on her shoulders, and for the first time, she felt a true partnership within the company. Outside of work, Anna's life continued to blossom. Her days were filled with painting, exploring new interests, and deepening her bond with Beatrice. The sisters were closer than ever, their relationship strengthened by the trials they had overcome. They supported each other in ways they hadn't before, understanding that each had a unique perspective on life that could be learned from and appreciated. One morning, as they sat together in Anna's living room, Beatrice shared some exciting news. "Anna, I've been thinking about starting my own business," she said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Something small, something that aligns with my love for a balanced life." Anna looked at her sister, impressed by her resolve. "That's wonderful, Bea. What kind of business are you thinking about?" "A wellness retreat," Beatrice continued, her excitement evident. "I've been dreaming about it for years. A place where people can come to escape the pressures of everyday life, to reconnect with themselves, and to find balance. It would be set in nature, maybe near the coast or in the mountains, with activities like yoga, meditation, art therapy, and healthy living workshops." Anna's eyes lit up at the idea. "Bea, that sounds incredible. I think it's exactly what people need, especially in today's world where everyone is so stressed and disconnected. Have you thought about where you'd want to set it up?" Beatrice nodded. "There's a beautiful piece of land not too far from the coastal town we visited recently. It's surrounded by forest and has a stunning view of the ocean. I've already talked to the owner, and they're willing to sell it for a reasonable price. I've been saving up for this, but I'd need a little more to get started." Anna didn't hesitate. "I'll help you, Bea. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. This retreat sounds like the perfect venture, not just for you, but for so many others who are looking for the kind of balance you found." Beatrice smiled, deeply touched by her sister's support. "Thank you, Anna. I know it's a big step, but I really believe in this. And honestly, I think it could be good for you too." Maybe you could get involved. Use your business experience to help me with the planning and operations. Anna considered the idea. I'd love that. It would be a new challenge, something meaningful and fulfilling. Plus, it's a chance for us to work together in a way that aligns with both of our values. With the decision made, the sisters threw themselves into the project. They visited the land Beatrice had in mind, and Anna immediately saw the potential. The property was breathtaking, with rolling hills that led down to a pristine beach, dense forests filled with the sound of birds, and a natural serenity that was perfect for a wellness retreat. They began by sketching out their vision: a series of eco-friendly cottages, a main lodge with communal spaces, a yoga pavilion overlooking the ocean, and winding trails through the forest for meditation walks. They also planned to include an art studio where guests could explore their creativity, just as Anna had rediscovered her passion for painting. Anna used her connections to bring in architects and contractors who specialized in sustainable building practices. Beatrice, meanwhile, worked on the retreats program, curating a variety of activities that would cater to different needs, from relaxation and healing to personal growth and creativity. The process was challenging, with countless decisions to make and obstacles to overcome, but the sisters worked together seamlessly. Their differing strengths complemented each other perfectly. Anna's business acumen and attention to detail balanced Beatrice's creative vision and focus on wellness. For the first time in their lives, they were truly partners, united by a shared goal. As the retreat began to take shape, Anna found herself more invested in the project than she had expected. She enjoyed the process of creating something new and meaningful, something that wasn't driven by profits or corporate pressures, but by the desire to help others find balance in their lives. The retreat's opening day was set for the following summer, giving them several months to finalize everything. Word spread quickly about the new venture, and they began receiving inquiries from people eager to book their stay. The excitement around the project grew, and with it, Anna's sense of fulfillment. One afternoon, as they stood on the deck of the nearly completed main lodge, overlooking the ocean, Beatrice turned to Anna with a contented smile. "Can you believe we're really doing this? It's like a dream come true." Anna nodded, her heart swelling with pride and happiness. "It's more than I ever imagined, B. I'm so glad we took this journey together. It's given me a sense of purpose I didn't know I needed." Beatrice looked at her sister, seeing the transformation that had taken place over the past year. Anna was no longer the driven, stressed-out woman who had nearly worked herself into the ground. She was vibrant, creative, and, most importantly, at peace. "I'm proud of you, Anna," Beatrice said softly. "You've come so far, and you've helped me so much. I couldn't have done this without you." Anna smiled, feeling the deep bond between them. "And I couldn't have found my way without you, B. You were right all along. Life is about balance, about finding joy in the little things, and not losing sight of what's really important." As they stood there, watching the waves crash against the shore, Anna realized that she had finally found what she had been searching for: a life that was both meaningful and fulfilling, one that allowed her to honor her parents' legacy while also creating something new and beautiful with her sister. The wellness retreat, which they decided to name Serenity Haven, became not just a business but a symbol of their journey, a place where people could come to heal, to grow, and to reconnect with themselves and the world around them. And for Anna and Beatrice, it was a reminder that life's true success lies in finding harmony between work, passion, and the people we love. As Serenity Haven approached its grand opening, the sisters poured their hearts and souls into the final preparations. The retreat was everything they had envisioned and more. Nestled among the trees with breathtaking views of the ocean, it felt like a sanctuary where time slowed down and the worries of the world seemed far away. The cottages were cozy and inviting, each uniquely designed to blend with the natural surroundings. The main lodge, with its large windows and open spaces, encouraged guests to relax and connect with one another. The yoga pavilion stood proudly on a cliff, offering an unparalleled view of the sunrise over the water. Every detail had been carefully considered, from the organic linens on the beds to the fresh, locally sourced ingredients used in the retreat's kitchen. Anna and Beatrice couldn't have been prouder of what they had created. As they walked through the retreat, Inspecting the final touches, they marveled at how far they had come. It was more than just a business. It was a testament to their resilience, their bond, and their newfound understanding of life's true priorities. But just as everything seemed to be falling into place, an unexpected challenge loomed on the horizon. One afternoon, as Ana was going over the final guest list in the lodge, David Ortega called. Since stepping into his role as CEO, David had successfully led the family business, allowing Ana to step back and focus on Serenity Haven. The company was thriving under his leadership, but his voice on the phone now carried a note of urgency. "Ana, we have a situation," David began, his tone serious. "One of our major investors is threatening to pull out of a key project. They're unhappy with some of the recent decisions we've made, and it's causing a ripple effect. If we don't address this quickly, it could jeopardize several deals and harm the company's reputation." Ana felt her heart sink. The news was a stark reminder of the world she had tried to distance herself from, but it was also a world she couldn't fully escape. The business was still a part of her life, and now it demanded her attention. "Do you need me to come in?" Ana asked, already anticipating the answer. "Yes," David replied. "I know you've stepped back, but your presence could make a difference. The investors trust you, and hearing from you directly might help smooth things over." Ana looked around the lodge, where workers were adding the final touches to the decor. The retreat was so close to opening, and she had promised herself she wouldn't let anything pull her away. But the company was her responsibility too, and she couldn't ignore a crisis that could have far-reaching consequences. "Okay," Ana said, her mind racing. "I'll be there first thing tomorrow morning." After the call ended, Ana found Beatriz outside, overseeing the landscaping team. The sun was beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the retreat. Beatriz turned to Ana, her expression calm and content. "How's everything looking?" Beatriz asked, noticing the tension in Ana's face. "It's beautiful, Bea," Ana replied, her voice tinged with hesitation. "But I just got a call from David. There's a problem with one of our investors. He needs me to go back to the city tomorrow to help sort things out." Beatriz's smile faded, replaced by concern. "Ana, the opening is in just a few days. Can't David handle it on his own?" Ana shook her head. "I wish he could, but this is serious. If I don't go, it could have a big impact on the business. I hate to leave right now, especially with everything we've worked so hard for, but I don't see another option." Beatriz sighed, understanding the difficult position Ana was in. "I know you have to do what's necessary, but don't lose sight of what's important. The retreat is about balance, remember? Don't let the business pull you back into that cycle of stress and overwork." Ana nodded, appreciating her sister's wisdom. "I'll try to be back as soon as possible, but if I can't make it in time for the opening, I know you'll handle everything perfectly." Beatriz smiled, though there was a hint of sadness in her eyes. "I'll do my best, Ana, but promise me you won't let this consume you. We've come so far, and I don't want to see you go back to that dark place." "I promise," Ana said, pulling Beatriz into a hug. "This is just a temporary situation. I'll be back before you know it." The next morning, Ana drove to the city, her mind torn between Serenity Haven and the crisis at the company. The familiar sights and sounds of the city, once a source of energy and excitement, now felt overwhelming. As she stepped into the office building, she was greeted with a barrage of updates, concerns, and questions. It was as if she had never left. David briefed her on the situation, detailing the investors' concerns and the potential fallout. Ana listened carefully, her mind shifting back into problem-solving mode. She met with the investors, using her experience and personal connections to address their worries and negotiate a compromise. It was exhausting work, but by the end of the day, the immediate crisis had been averted. As she sat in her old office, staring out at the city skyline, Ana felt a deep weariness settle over her. The adrenaline that had carried her through the day was wearing off, and all she wanted was to be back at Serenity Haven with Beatriz. She had promised herself she wouldn't let the business consume her again, but today had been a stark reminder of how easily she could be pulled back in. The phone on her desk buzzed, interrupting her thoughts. It was a message from Beatrice. "Hey, how's it going? We miss you here. Everything is ready for the opening. Just needs you." Anna smiled at the message, feeling a pang of longing. She typed out a quick reply. "Crisis averted. I'll be back tomorrow. Can't wait to see it all finished." But as Anna prepared to leave the office, David approached her with a concerned expression. "Anna, I'm glad we managed to fix things today, but there's something else I need to talk to you about. The board has some concerns about the direction we're heading in, especially with you being less involved. They're worried about stability and leadership. I think we need to have a conversation about your future role in the company." Anna's heart sank. She had hoped that stepping back wouldn't lead to complications, but it seemed that her reduced involvement was causing more issues than she had anticipated. "David, I understand their concerns," Anna replied, choosing her words carefully. "But I've made a decision to live my life differently now. I'm still committed to the company, but I can't go back to being involved full-time. We need to find a way to reassure the board without sacrificing the balance I've worked so hard to achieve." David nodded, though his expression remained serious. "I agree, Anna, but we need to come up with a solution that works for everyone. Maybe it's time to consider bringing in another executive to share the load." Anna took a deep breath, realizing that this was a critical moment. She had to find a way to protect her new life while ensuring the company's success. "I'll think about it," Anna said, her mind already racing with possibilities. "But right now I need to get back to Serenity Haven. That's where I belong." David smiled, understanding. "Of course, Anna. We'll figure this out together. Go enjoy the opening. Serenity Haven is a beautiful accomplishment." As Anna left the office, she felt a mix of relief and anxiety. The business was still a part of her, but it no longer defined her. She was determined to keep it that way no matter what challenges lay ahead. The drive back to Serenity Haven was long, but as Anna approached the retreat, the tension began to melt away. The sight of the ocean, the smell of the trees, and the thought of being with Beatrice again brought a sense of calm that the city could never provide. When she finally arrived, the sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the retreat. Beatrice was waiting for her, a wide smile on her face. "You made it!" Beatrice exclaimed, pulling Anna into a tight embrace. "I knew you would." Anna hugged her sister back, feeling the stress of the past days dissolve in Beatrice's warmth. "I wouldn't miss this for the world." They walked together through the retreat, now fully ready for the grand opening. The candles were lit, the tables set, and the first guests were due to arrive the next morning. The place was alive with a sense of anticipation and peace. As they stood together on the deck, watching the last light of the day fade into the horizon, Anna knew she had made the right choice. The business would always be there, with its challenges and demands, but Serenity Haven was where her heart truly belonged. "I've been thinking, Anna said, breaking the comfortable silence. "Maybe it's time to make some changes at the company. I need to find a way to stay involved without getting pulled back into that old life. I want to be here, with you, making this dream a reality." Beatrice looked at her sister, a knowing smile on her face. "Whatever you decide, Anna, I'm with you. We'll figure it out together, just like we always do." Anna nodded, feeling a sense of clarity and purpose. The storm of the past days had passed, and in its wake, she had found the strength to chart a new course, one that honored both her responsibilities and her need for balance. As they watched the stars begin to appear in the night sky, Anna felt a deep sense of peace. She had faced the storm and emerged stronger, with a clearer understanding of what truly mattered. And with Beatrice by her side, she knew she could face whatever came next, knowing that she had finally found the balance she had been searching for. The grand opening of Serenity Haven was a resounding success. Guests arrived from all over, drawn by the promise of peace, rejuvenation, and a chance to escape the demands of their hectic lives. The retreat's tranquil setting, combined with the carefully curated activities, created an atmosphere that instantly put visitors at ease. Anna and Beatrice welcomed the guests personally, guiding them through the lush gardens, the serene yoga pavilion, and the art studio where Anna had already started offering classes. Seeing the smiles on the guests' faces and the way they began to unwind from the moment they arrived filled Anna with a profound sense of accomplishment. Serenity Haven was everything they had dreamed it would be, a place where people could find the balance that had once eluded her. As the first few days passed, the retreat buzzed with positive energy. The yoga classes were full. The meditation sessions brought a sense of calm to even the most stressed-out visitors, and Anna's art workshops became a surprise hit. Guests of all ages and backgrounds found solace in expressing themselves through painting, rediscovering their creativity in ways they hadn't experienced since childhood. Beatrice managed the daily operations with ease, ensuring that everything ran smoothly. She thrived in this role, guiding the wellness programs, connecting with the guests, and overseeing the retreat staff. Her passion for the project was evident in every detail, and it was clear that Serenity Haven was as much a reflection of her spirit as it was Anna's. In the evenings, after the guests had retired to their cottages, Anna and Beatrice would sit together on the deck, reflecting on the day. It was during these quiet moments that Anna felt truly at peace. She had finally found a rhythm in her life that allowed her to balance her responsibilities with her passions. The retreat was thriving, and she felt fulfilled in a way that her work at the company had never provided. But even as Serenity Haven flourished, the lingering issues at the company weighed on Anna's mind. David had been supportive, and the crisis with the investor had been resolved, but the concerns from the board about her reduced involvement were still unresolved. Anna knew she needed to address them, but she was determined to do so on her terms. One evening, after a particularly rewarding day at the retreat, Anna brought up the topic with Beatrice as they sat watching the stars. I've been thinking a lot about the company," Anna began, her voice thoughtful. "I love what we've built here, and I don't want to lose that. But I also know I can't just walk away from the business completely. It's still part of who I am." Beatrice nodded, understanding her sister's dilemma. "You've done an amazing job finding balance, Anna. But I know it's hard to let go of something you've been dedicated to for so long. Maybe there's a way to stay connected to the company without letting it take over your life again." "That's exactly what I've been thinking," Anna replied. "I'm considering restructuring my role even further, perhaps transitioning into more of a consulting position rather than an active executive role. I could focus on strategy and vision, things I'm passionate about, without getting bogged down in the daily grind." Beatrice smiled, clearly supportive of the idea. "That sounds like a perfect solution. You can still have a hand in guiding the company's future, but you'll have the freedom to continue building what we've started here. And I'm sure David would appreciate having your insights without the pressure of managing everything." Anna nodded, feeling a sense of relief as she spoke the words aloud. "I think you're right. It's time to trust others to handle the details, to let go of that need to control every aspect. I've seen how well David has done, and I know the company is in good hands. This could be the way forward." The next day, Anna scheduled a meeting with David and the board to discuss her proposal. She felt a mix of nerves and confidence as she laid out her plan, explaining how she could still contribute to the company's growth without being tied to the day-to-day operations. She emphasized the success they had already achieved with David at the helm and how her new role could allow her to focus on long-term strategy, innovation, and mentoring the next generation of leaders. To her relief, the board was receptive to the idea. They understood her desire to balance her personal life with her professional commitments and recognized the value she could bring in a more strategic role. David, in particular, was supportive, expressing his gratitude for her continued involvement while acknowledging that the company had already benefited from her decision to step back. With the agreement in place, Anna felt a renewed sense of purpose. She would continue to guide the company, but now on her own terms, with the flexibility to devote her time to Serenity Haven and to the life she had worked so hard to build. As the weeks passed, Anna settled into her new role with ease. She traveled to the city occasionally for important meetings, but she no longer felt the pressure to be there every day. Instead, she spent most of her time at Serenity Haven, working on new ideas for the retreat and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. The guests continued to flock to the retreat, and the feedback they received was overwhelmingly positive. Many of the visitors left transformed, having found a sense of peace and balance that they had been searching for. Some even returned for follow-up visits, eager to recapture the tranquility they had found at Serenity Haven. One day, as Anna was leading a painting workshop, a guest approached her with tears in her eyes. "Thank you, Anna," the woman said, her voice filled with emotion. "This place has changed my life. I came here feeling lost, overwhelmed by work and the demands of my life, but I'm leaving with a new sense of purpose. You've created something truly special here." Anna was deeply moved by the woman's words, and as she looked around the room at the other guests, each absorbed in their creative process, she realized that this was what she had been searching for all along. The business had been her life for so long, but it was at Serenity Haven that she had found her true calling, helping others find the balance she had struggled so hard to achieve. That evening, Anna shared the experience with Beatrice as they sat on the deck, watching the sun set over the ocean. "I never imagined that this place would have such an impact on people," Anna said, her voice filled with wonder. "It's like we've created a little piece of magic here." Beatrice smiled, her heart full. "We have, Anna, and it's because of you. Your journey, your struggles, they've all led you here, to this moment. And now you're helping others find their way too." Anna took a deep breath, feeling the truth of her sister's words. The storm she had weathered, the challenges she had faced, they had all been worth it to arrive at this place of peace and fulfillment. But as they sat there, a gentle breeze ruffling their hair, Anna knew that the journey wasn't over. Life was always full of surprises, and she was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that she had finally found the balance she needed to truly live. The months that followed brought continued success to Serenity Haven. The retreat had become a beacon of tranquility, drawing guests from all walks of life who were seeking to reconnect with themselves and find balance. The impact of the retreat was profound, with many guests leaving testimonials about how their time there had transformed their lives. For Anna and Beatrice, each story was a validation of the path they had chosen, a reminder that they were doing something truly meaningful. As summer gave way to autumn, the sisters decided to host a special event at the retreat, a weekend dedicated to celebrating the journey of Serenity Haven and the community it had fostered. They invited past guests to return and share their experiences, to reconnect with the place that had brought them peace, and to meet others who had also been touched by the retreat's unique magic. The weekend was a resounding success. The retreat buzzed with energy as guests participated in workshops, yoga sessions, and group discussions. There was laughter, tears, and a deep sense of camaraderie as people shared their stories. Anna and Beatrice moved among the guests, listening to their tales and marveling at the diverse ways Serenity Haven had impacted their lives. On the final evening of the event, the sisters hosted a gathering on the beach. A bonfire crackled warmly as everyone gathered around, the sound of the waves providing a soothing backdrop. The sky was clear, the stars shining brightly above, and the air was filled with the scent of the ocean. As the guests settled in, Beatrice stood up, smiling as she addressed the group. "Thank you all for being here," she began, her voice full of emotion. "When Anna and I started this journey, we never imagined how much it would grow, or how deeply it would touch the lives of so many people. Serenity Haven has become more than just a retreat. It's a community, a place where people can come to heal, to find themselves, and to reconnect with what truly matters." The guests applauded, and Anna felt a swell of pride and gratitude. Beatrice continued, her eyes shining. "This weekend has been about celebrating that journey, and we're so grateful to each and every one of you for being part of it. We hope that Serenity Haven will continue to be a place of peace and renewal for many years to come." As Beatrice sat down, Anna felt a gentle nudge from within, a sense that it was her turn to speak. She hadn't planned to, but the moment felt right. Standing up, she took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the fire on her face. "I just want to say a few words," Anna began, her voice steady. "For so many years, I was lost in the demands of my life, in the relentless pursuit of success. I thought that was all that mattered, achieving, striving, pushing myself to be the best. But in doing that, I lost sight of something far more important, my own well-being and the relationships that truly mattered." She paused, looking around at the faces illuminated by the firelight. Serenity Haven wasn't just a retreat for me, it was a lifeline. It gave me the chance to find balance, to reconnect with my sister, and to discover what it really means to live a fulfilling life. And now, seeing all of you here, hearing your stories, I realize that this place has become so much more than I ever dreamed it could be. Anna's voice grew softer, filled with emotion. I'm grateful beyond words for this journey, for the lessons I've learned, and for the people I've met along the way. And I'm especially grateful to Beatrice, who showed me that life is about balance, about finding joy in the simple things, and about never losing sight of what's truly important. Beatrice reached out and squeezed Anna's hand, her eyes brimming with tears. The guests applauded, the sound of their clapping mingling with the crash of the waves. After the applause died down, the gathering continued with stories, laughter, and music. There was a feeling of closure in the air, but also a sense of new beginnings, a recognition that while one chapter was ending, another was just beginning. Later that night, as the bonfire dwindled to glowing embers and the guests began to drift back to their cottages, Anna and Beatrice remained on the beach. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the waves roll in under the moonlight. Anna broke the silence first, her voice reflective. I think this is just the beginning, Bea. Serenity Haven has brought us so much, and I can't help but feel that there's more ahead, more lives to touch, more lessons to learn. Beatrice nodded, her gaze fixed on the horizon. I feel the same way. There's something about this place, about what we've created, that feels like it's meant to keep growing, evolving. Anna smiled, feeling a deep sense of contentment. And whatever comes next, I'm ready for it. I've learned that it's not about controlling everything or having all the answers. It's about being open to the journey, about trusting that the path we're on will lead us to where we need to be. Beatrice turned to her sister, her expression warm and loving. And we'll walk that path together, just like we always have. As they sat there, the first light of dawn began to creep over the horizon, casting a soft glow over the water. It was a new day, a new beginning, and the sisters knew that whatever the future held, they were ready to face it, together. With the rising sun, Anna felt a sense of peace that she had never known before. She had found her balance, her purpose, and her true self. And as the waves lapped gently at the shore, she knew that Serenity Haven would continue to be a place of healing, of growth, and of love. A place where she and Beatrice could create something beautiful, not just for themselves, but for everyone who sought the same sense of peace and fulfillment they had found. And so, with the dawn of a new day, the story of Anna and Beatrice didn't end. It simply continued, unfolding like the waves on the shore, each one bringing something new and beautiful to their lives. They had found their balance, their haven, and with it, the strength to face whatever came next.